Welcome back to the Paddle and Fin Podcast Network. We're brought to you by Yak Gadget. For all your kayak fishing accessory needs, go to yakgadget.com. Pelican cases, coolers, and lighting. Go to pelican.com. The 153 Bait Company. For all your hard and soft bait needs, go to the153anglers.com. Now let's get this show started. What's going on? Facebook Live, YouTube, podcast world. Welcome back to another exciting episode. Hey, Jay.
Hey, Brian.
How you doing?
Oh, great, man. Hey, your phone just keeps going off.
You know, I already declined that call once. You think they get the point, you know, whatever. Sorry about that. Amateur hour over here. Man, we got a bunch of people in the chat already. Love it, love it, love it. Backwoods Bassin said, okay, well, I'm here. He was waiting for us to get started. We got Fishing with Gramps, Fishing with T-Rex. I love it, man. Bunch of people in the chat tonight. But got an epic show tonight. We got Rick from MonsterBass, the man, the myth, the legend. So we're going to chat to him tonight about MonsterBass, what they're all about, and all that good stuff. We just wrapped up our trail series this past weekend. Huge shout out to Blake Spurgeon for winning AOI for the year. He was on the Reel Down podcast earlier in the week. If you guys want, you can always go back, check that out on Facebook, YouTube, any major podcast platform, Waypoint TV, all the good stuff. Delaware Pond Hopper says, hello from Delaware. What's up, brother? A lot of people tuning in from YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, go down in that lower left-hand corner, smash that share button. Let's get some folks in here. We got the good folks from MonsterBass as well in the chat as well. It's probably Rick's fan club, right?
I know. I was like, are we going to get trolled? Like, that's what I'm waiting for.
Well, let's get the man of the hour in here, Rick from MonsterBass. How you doing, brother? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing great, man. How you guys doing? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man. No problem. We know we just you're running a podcast as well. Is that specifically for MonsterBass?
Yeah, you know, we like to do a live stream every Thursday, and I like to bring on guests that, you know, could be a part of our company, could be a tournament angler. Just, you know, I like to introduce my audience and to various personalities that are within the industry, and we do things a little bit differently because we have an 800 number, and so we take live calls the whole time.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah, and we give everybody the opportunity, like no holds barred, whatever you want to talk about.
Very cool, man.
Got a switchboard.
Yeah,
we need that. You could be the switchboard guy.
Well, that was a light bulb for all the people who can't see what I'm doing, and it was bad.
Well, right on, man. Well, why don't you give us a little background on you and like MonsterBass and what MonsterBass is all about and how you guys got started, man?
Yeah, so you know, I've been in the recreational fishing industry for probably close to about 10 years. It was totally accidental. I used to work at a digital agency, helping brands come online, build their websites, strategies, things like that. And these guys showed up, wanted to do something in fishing. I thought it was the dumbest idea I had ever heard. And then I went to the Bassmaster Classic because I couldn't stop thinking about fishing. And then I saw the magic of product placement. And, you know, one tournament angler gets up there and says, I need this Garmin, you know, I need whatever. And every guy in the audience is like, oh, well, I got to get that too. And it, you know, it became this really just like this aha moment. And, you know, fishing something I grew up doing. And so I thought, well, why not do something in this industry? And, you know, I won't bore you with the details, but, you know, fishing subscription boxes aren't all that new. I mean,
sure.
Mystery Tackle Box has done a great job of building you know, a loyal following and by sending random baits to people. And so I thought, well, how could we do it better? And so, you know, we broke the country into regions because we realized, you know, the baits you're sending to someone in Minnesota are not the same baits you should be sending to the guy in Florida, right?
Absolutely.
So let's break the country into regions. Let's make sure the baits are seasonally and regionally appropriate. And let's fill it with brands that you know and trust, and then introduce you to some brands you haven't heard of before. And here we are today.
Very cool, man. Yeah, that was the one thing, man. Like when I scrolled through your website, I thought it was cool that you guys kind of separated it into regions, because like you said, like Mystery Tackle Box, like they've done a great job. They got a great following and things like that. But you talk to folks that have subscribed to their boxes, right? And they get a ton of baits. Like, I'll never throw this. Like Josh Eldridge, I know he used to subscribe to that, and he's like, dude, I got this funky, like weird crankbait. Like it must be for catching sharks, and it's sat on my shelf for like 4 years. Like, what am I ever going to do with this in Ohio? Yeah. So it's kind of cool that you guys like separate it into regions and break it up like that, man.
Yeah, we do the best we can, right? Because the reality is, I could send you a square bill 12, every single month, and you could fish a square bill.
Sure.
But we're making an effort, right? Like I'm doing my best to not send, I don't send shad patterns to Massachusetts. We don't send deep diving crankbaits to Florida.
Sure.
We're trying to make sure that we do our best. And then the other thing we're really trying to do is educate the angler. So, the guys that really work on my team, whether it's, Fishing the Lone Star, Alex Rudd, Ben Nowak, Travis Manson, guys like that, we want to show you how to use these baits too, because let's face it, if my kid, if I'm not, if I don't fish all the time and my kid comes to me and says, Dad, I want to go fishing. All right, I'm going to walk down to the aisle at Bass Pro Shops and immediately want to blow my brains out, because there's 1,000 things that look exactly the same. I'm going to buy this stuff. I'm going to take my kid fishing. He's going to have a horrible time, which means I'm going to have a horrible time, and he's never going to want to go fishing again. So, we want to make sure that we, not only do we send you the right baits, but we show you how to use them.
Yeah, no, that's super cool, man. Super cool. I don't know who's in the chat on YouTube for their team, but supposedly they had a lizard in the house and the wife was freaking out. Kids wanted a picture. So I don't know. That'll be an interesting story after the show, but
totally.
No, it's super cool, man. And you guys are working with some pretty well-known brands as well, right? I was kind of scrolling through, like watching. What I think is cool too, that I noticed, is you do a monthly unboxing video. So you kind of let folks know like what they're getting in the boxes, so they can see a realistic feel of that too.
Yeah, well, so obviously I have history in this industry, and prior to MonsterBass, I started Lucky Tackle Box.
Okay.
It wasn't my company, but I worked there. And when I left the company, I left for a reason, and there was a difference of opinion, and they went down the path of just literally going to a factory in China and saying, give me a crankbait, a jerkbait, a spinnerbait. They didn't care what the brand was. They didn't put any thought behind it, and they just filled the box full of garbage.
Sure.
And we didn't want to do that. And so, yeah, we've got a like, some of my biggest partners are Strike King, X-Zone, Z-Man. And, we're going to look to strengthen that in 2022. We're the only subscription box that Strike King works with. They don't work with Major League Fishing. They don't work with Mystery Tackle Box, because they see the value in what we're doing, and we're happy that they're a part of it, because we think what we do is a little bit different than some of the other boxes as well.
That's super cool, man.
Yeah. Aside from like the packaging or the packages that you're getting, are they like partial packages, or aside from one crankbait and whatnot?
Yeah. So again, not knocking any of the, not knocking Mystery, because they're the market leader. They've been around the longest. Their box is predominantly a marketing mechanism for their brands, right? Like they've created 10, 12 different brands that they put into the box, and they'll put 8 items of theirs and 2 items of someone else's, and then the soft plastics are typically sample packs. They may even use overstock and discontinued, and so we don't do that, because my belief is that I'm doing a disservice to a brand like X-Zone if I put a discontinued item in the box, because then I'm introducing their brand to somebody using something that somebody didn't want. So I would never do that. And I also think sample packs don't really give you a good gauge as to whether or not you like the product. Because, you know, if you get 4 Senkos in it and you go to hook the first one, screw it up, get a couple bites, pretty soon your whole thing's gone. And that doesn't really work. So
are you working with like like, you know, individual entrepreneurs as well?
So I tend to use the 80-20 rule. So 80% of the brands in the box are going to be brands that you've heard of. The other 20% are going to be up and coming brands and entrepreneurs that make a quality product, but just nobody's heard of, right? Like, you know, like Super K makes a really quality jig, but outside of Wisconsin and in that area, no one's heard of them. And so for the opportunity for them to get their product in the box really introduces them to an entire new audience. And it introduces me as the angler to a regional player that I would never hear of because outside of that area, you know, I've never heard of it. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
No, I dig it, man. I mean, that the sample pack thing is huge because I've heard a lot of complaints about that. You know,
garbage.
when it comes to the mystery boxes, you know what I mean? Like, you know, they gave me 4 worms. Like, what good is this? I caught 3 fish in a tree. Now I'm out.
Right.
Like, now I don't know if I want to buy it or not. So it's kind of cool that you guys are doing full packs too. And like you said, man, it's super cool that you know, you guys are throwing some quality products in there. Like, whereas me as like an avid fisherman, like I would go and buy off a shelf. And I think that's the big thing. Like, guys, like the whole concept of the box subscriptions was super cool, but like we talked about, man, like you hear a lot about the sample packs, discontinued products, products you'd never heard of. And like, I think guys wanted an assortment of baits like that they could actually go and find on their bait and tackle stores after they used it. And they, you know, they're like, yeah, I can use this.
Yeah. I mean, and how, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, like, how many times have you, like, you know, I mean, because I used to subscribe. I've had Lucky and I've had Mystery, and I would always end up, you know, no knocking to them. It's just stuff I wouldn't use, and I'm filling up like boxes, and then like just gifting them to like people that like don't have any tackle. I'm like, here you go. And I was like, this is stuff I'll never use. But I mean, but you'd end up with like 2 or 3 boxes just full of like crammed full of stuff, you know. And yeah, I mean, I think your approach definitely will work and probably is working. Because I mean, you're going to run into situations like that with somebody and then they're going to get turned off. Right. So I stopped my subscriptions because there was no reason to have it. I mean, we've had that conversation too. It's like, I got so much junk now. I don't know what to do with, like, I just got to cut it off, you know?
Yeah.
You know, we do something a little different too. So again, I'm not knocking Mystery. They're a great company and they're super successful. So they have 10 brands, right? And I've always said, you know, making baits is really hard. I've been very upfront about it. You know, I've always said we're going to create one line of baits under the MonsterBass brand. And it's really hard to produce a quality product. And so I don't know how Mystery's been able to create 10 brands so quickly. I mean, I can guess, but like, you know, one of the things that we've done is, you know, like we just released this product this month. It's the Mad Max Popper, and you know, we released the first version of it 2 years ago. We sent it out, and as part of the program, what we do is, so I sent it out to 5,000 people, and then I surveyed every one of them afterwards. I got their feedback, and we used crowdsourced data to then come up with version 2. So I took all of the data that was provided. I gave it back in a consumable format to the factory that was producing it, to their designer, and I had them modify the bait. And you
should plug the hooks now,
right?
We know they're sharp.
Yeah, like trocars.
These are actually BKKs. I don't know if you're familiar. Yeah. So this is the second version of the product, and we just released it this month, and we've gotten some really great reviews on it. Like, it just, we were just put on the cover of Bassin magazine.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah, and So it's been pretty well received, but it's really hard to make baits, but it's something that we want to do differently, right? We want to have our subscribers be a part of it, because how cool is that to be a part of developing a product, and how great is it for us to be able to have feedback from thousands of people and use that to develop, our end product. So.
Well, not only that, but you're getting honest feedback. You're putting out what the people actually want. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whereas, I think a lot of bait companies, they go to some of their field pros and they're like, all right, what do you want to see? And sometimes that's good. Sometimes it's not the greatest thing in the world, So I think having that broader subject of, or audience to input on it is huge.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I think your approach is great. I mean, it's pretty ingenious too to launch your own stuff within a product that people are still benefiting from with other baits that they want as well.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that's a great approach.
Yeah, listen, I think, listen, if Strike King sees value in being in the box, then why wouldn't I create a line of baits to get to derive the same benefit? Now, I can tell you that it's a lot harder than people think. Like, you could take the Lucky Tackle Box approach, but like, listen, let's look at what they've done. Obviously, we've seen them, and it's just all gone downhill. But like, it's hard. Let me tell you how hard it is to create a good product. I have tried 3 times unsuccessfully to produce a frog. It's so hard. It seems so simple, right? Like, how hard can it be? It's the most ridiculous thing. I've been working on prototypes for now 2.5 years, and I don't have a single one that I like. I don't have it. This one came out, and we literally, it took 2 years to get the next version of it done. It's so hard. And I'm not like I'm not really a bait designer.
Sure.
I'm a marketing guy that likes to fish. And so my feedback, my approach has been simple. Like, my factory, gives me 10 prototypes of let's say 10 prototypes of a popper. I throw them all in the pool. We see which action we like. We do this. And then I start giving them feedback. I'd like it to weigh a little bit more. I'd like the sound of the rattle to be just a simple thud as opposed to a bunch of rattles. I'd like this. They must sit back at their factory and be like, this guy doesn't know what the hell he's doing. the feedback that he's providing is so just like, it's so basic. It's so like my feedback's like caveman, like, make it longer, make it weigh less, make it weigh more, like, do this, do that. But I honestly believe, like, I will put this popper up against anyone on the planet. I've yet to find one person that has said this popper sucks.
Interesting.
And I mean that. Like, we have a topwater bait called the Patriot. And I remember the guy, this was the very first bait I ever designed. And I worked alongside someone because I had no clue what to do. And when we were done with it, and this guy's got a TV show in the industry, he's well known. He's designed 7 different brands. And when we got done with it, he's like, I'll be honest, he goes, listening to you give feedback to the factory was pretty funny. He goes, but I think the result was so good because you didn't make all the typical moves that most bait designers make. He goes, and the result is everyone has the similar bait. And he goes, this bait's actually really good. I wish I had kept it for myself. And so I think there's a benefit to me not being like the guy that's, I haven't been a bait designer for 20 years. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's huge, man. Like, you see a lot of that, like, in anything, right? Like, guys that don't have a clue about something, and you approach it from a novice point of view. Normally that turns out 10 times more successful than some geek that's been in college for 20 years and like has a program or, I don't know, programming degree for, I can make a CAD drawing of that,
Yeah.
Whereas if you give honest feedback and you're actually the guy, like, throwing the thing and you're like, they may not understand fully. I think that's where I'm sure you can attest to that, where it's a real struggle where, you're like, I want a little bit more weight, or I want it to splash more water as I'm skittering across the water. And they're like, what is this guy talking about?
Yeah.
And basically they figure it out, they got to cup the mouth of that, a little more or whatever it may be. But I think having that, no idea, on what you're saying or what you're talking about, how to design this thing to make it exactly what you want. 9 times out of 10, man, it just kicks more bass that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and to have a factory behind you to like go, you know what, I want this. Because I mean, in my experience, I had like a brief run making baits and everything. And
Are you puffing your shirt out a little right now?
did I?
He did. He sat up a little bit. He was almost as tall as you for a minute.
I said brief. It's like, call me. But no, I mean, most of the stuff that's out there is, it's all pre-made stuff. So I mean, there's like no originality out of that. You kind of gotta go through the motions with the different companies that offer the different things.
Sure.
So like, but to have like a factory behind you.
Yeah. That's huge.
You can be like, I want like devil horns on it. Could you put devil horns on it? Just something like whack, or whatever. But I mean, something that works, that'll stand out. I mean, that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also really dangerous too. It's also really dangerous because like I'm a novice, right? And so I literally the factory came to me and said, "Oh, this company is going out of business. They haven't paid for their molds. Would you like to buy it?" And I'm like, I don't know. Send me some of the blanks. Let me try it out. I sent them out. Everyone's like, these are the greatest. Like, you should totally buy the mold. I was like, okay, I'll buy the mold. And then I proceeded to order 20,000 units. Okay. So I'm a brand new company, right? I bought 20,000 units. And I remember I posted it on my personal Instagram page. I'm like, who would love to see one of these in a MonsterBass box? And all of a sudden I get a text message from somebody and he goes, Rick, you can't put that in the box. And I was like, who is this? And then he tells me, and he goes, that's a knockoff of a MegaBass Japan bait. And I was like, shut up. And he goes, and he sends it to me. And lo and behold, not only did I buy the mold, but I produced 20,000 of these.
Oh man.
Baits, right? Now they were amazing. And they look good. And the only difference was it was the MegaBass Vata Lion, but it had a lip on it. And it was smaller. So then of course I was like, well, I can't do that. So I convinced this other brand to take these baits and just put them under their brand. And we sold them at we just covered our cost. I just basically gave them away. But I was just like, it's, you have no idea, but making baits when you're working with factories over there, because they just rip each other off all day long.
Yeah.
They'll just take another bait. Like for all I know, they start with the blanks they send me. They just change the eyes, the gill plates, and do whatever. And you have no idea. This industry is really crazy.
Yeah, well, I imagine too, like in other countries, like you got no protection.
Yeah,
they're all obviously, with China, they wait for everybody to make something. They go, oh, we can make that cheaper.
Yeah, right.
They take the whole thing,
Yeah, that's with anything, man.
Yeah, I used to work in software, and they would say the same thing. You would go to Asia last because you had to accept the fact that the moment you went to Asia, they were going to copy the software, change the name, and resell it, and it just happens. Like it's crazy.
Well, and we heard those stories too about what was it? Going down to ICAST, and then there'd be the groups of people that'd be walking down, taking pictures and stuff, and there's
trying to replicate.
There's things, rules against it now, and people who are watching out for that. But they go down, they get all the pictures, and they go back to their countries and
figure out how to make it and mass produce it for a fraction of the price.
2 years ago that happened, and the company. So a company did that. They implemented that rule because a company out of overseas took a picture of baits, copied it, and then submitted it into the new product showcase and got busted for it. Because they copied something from from Rage Tail, and got busted for it. So,
and then you gotta think too, how different can you make a bait? You know what I mean? They're all so very, very similar to stand out that little bit, or just have that one thing, like spros, right? They all got like those certain eyes. You always know it's a spro.
Yeah, right.
You know, I mean, like even some of the what's it called, the Gamakatsu,
Yeah.
they're all very specific in one way, but pretty much they're all the same.
Yeah, right.
Beyond that.
Well, that's just it. Like you're talking about, it's like frogs. Like how many different frog baits are out there, and how do you make it different and better and things like that? It's tough, man, especially in the bait world.
Well, and didn't we have like we had a conversation about that like out at lacrosse where because I was throwing Sabiles. I like Sabiles like in certain situations, but if it's too weedy, they don't run good. You gotta like go to like a Spro, or go to just not
like a hollow body.
Yeah,
just
like a hollow body, like a
body.
Berkeley or something, but something maybe like I like the Sabiles because they got the one hook.
Right.
And that just seems to nail the fish a little easier than two. But point being is that talking about some frogs, and I like the blitz frogs, as you get the buzz bait action. But like scums are real good. They're like, for the working man, but they're really soft, and like once the hooks go into the side, they're kind of done.
They get flooded out.
Yeah, it's like you just can't work with them anymore, but yeah, I mean, to your point, trying to come up with a frog, I mean, I could see how that would be difficult because you want to take the best of like all the worlds, of all the different frogs that are out there.
Yeah.
And then like what kind of material, what size should I use? What kind of hooks? I mean, God, I mean, you could just go.
Are you designing a frog right now?
You could
for
just
Rick,
you could just go down that rabbit hole, man, for sure.
Yeah.
But I would say, like, if you are still thinking about it, the blitz, I think the scum, the paddle tails, it's probably a great way to go.
Ooh, blitz lures, that frog.
Oh, dude, I have
so
those.
good.
Oh yeah, I love those things. They're great.
So good.
They're like the tough scum frog.
Yeah, well, I like a paddle tail versus a hollow body. Like when you got real thick mats, because those paddle tail feet, just give a little bit of a ripple. Whereas it seems like a hollow body just kind of skips across. It doesn't say, "Hey, fish, I'm up here. Come eat me." To me. So I don't know.
Right.
Super cool, man. The other thing I wanted to bring up too, man, is you guys offer like, and if you didn't want just a subscription box, you guys sell individual baits. So are all those the baits that like you guys have had over the years, like in your subscription boxes?
Yeah.
That you could buy for like individual purchase?
Yeah, so we've got so we're not trying to compete with Tackle Warehouse. Listen, they've got that market cornered. Bass Pro Shops has got it cornered.
Sure.
So what we do is, if let's say I buy 100 baits and I only sell 90 boxes, I'm going to take the other 10. I'm going to put them on the store and sell them. And typically what I do, so we have like a VIP program. So you sign up on the website, you give us your cell phone number, and every Monday I send you some ridiculous deal. Like it literally could be, we're not waiting for Black Friday for buy one, get one free. That could just be a random Monday. We literally, the prices you see here are map pricing. The prices are whatever it is on the manufacturer's website.
Sure.
Because, I got to stick to map pricing. I can't compete with my partners, but there's nothing that says I can't run a deal on Monday. So like, there's a pretty good chance you're getting 50% off every Monday on something.
Nice.
So
yeah. Yeah, no, it's cool, man. You guys got a wide variety of some pretty killer baits in there. I know I scrolled through all 10 pages. I'm just scrolling a few across the screen here for folks that are tuned in, man. But
yeah, right. You're shopping.
So
it's like just take a moment to shop here.
I didn't put them in my cart yet, but I can't guarantee that they won't be in my cart.
Yeah, that one right there, the Seeker 6 or the Seeker is on that last page you're on.
Yep, I'll bring it up.
Never mind the silent gap there.
The Seeker 6-pack.
Yeah, so this bait is going to basically it's on the website, but we're going to release it next month. It's we got a 6, an 8, and a 12. Each one comes in 6 different colors. We got a video that we just finished working with more media on, and we love this bait. Like we're going to release the video on October 1st. It's got some really sick underwater footage, and we brought the entire team up to Michigan to let them loose and let them attack some pressured water. And we thought that Michigan would be a really good proving ground for them to fish with it. And we've got 6 more colors coming, but these are the first 6. And the one thing we do different, like, typical monster bass, the front hook's always red. Why?
Yeah, I was going to ask that.
Yeah.
Why front red, back just silver?
Well, everything, it's about confidence, right? Some people like to use scents because it makes them a little more confident. I've always been a big fan of red hooks.
Okay.
Whether or not it makes a difference, there's the story that it's, it indicates a wounded bait fish. Whether that's true or not, it gives me the confidence when I'm throwing it, and for me, it makes a difference. And so if I'm designing the line of baits, it's my line. I'm going to put red hooks on the front.
I can do what I want.
Yeah, I can
like
do what I want. So, yeah, we got 6 new translucent colors, translucent patterns coming, and yeah, we love it.
Yeah, and it's cool too. Seeker 6 dives up to 6 feet, Seeker 8 up to 8. I mean, it's nice that more of these bait companies are making it like easier to tell what it's going to dive to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
putting that, like I remember back in the day, I forget who it was. I think it was Rapala. It was like, you got this DT 843-67,
Yeah, right.
How deep does that go?
Yeah. Yeah, I think Berkeley's like as far as the ones that I've got my hands on, like actually are putting the numbers on there.
Yeah.
But like I'm like old school, like when you buy stuff, get a permanent marker around the bottom of the bill.
Well, I know, like in the walleye world, man, it was like, we would run big like reef runners and stuff like that, and we had these charts, and like the realistic pick on there. So you're like, all right, that matches this bait. All right, so if we run 60 yards or 60 feet out, it'll dive this. It was just like, it was a headache, man.
It's too much math.
Yeah, it was. It was. You had to be a mathematician to catch a walleye. How does that work? But no, man, it's
true story. I've still so my family has a lake house on Chautauqua. And literally a stone's throw from Erie. Like there's this town in Western New York called Westfield, and I can be on Erie in 2 minutes. I've never caught a walleye. And every time I go there, I'm like, that's it. We're booking an outfitter. We're going out for the day. I got to catch me some walleye. I mean, I've eaten plenty of walleye. I've never caught it. And every time I go there, the weather's really crappy and nobody wants to go out with me. It's the worst.
Isn't it the best time to go?
Of course.
Well, sometimes it depends, man. I've been out there in like 3 to 4 foot rollers, man. And that was like the only time I ever thought I was sick. And part of that was due to the adult beverages I had the night before. but like
the night before.
Yeah. Erie, man. Like, yeah, if it's gnarly out there, then fish are chomping for sure.
For sure.
Especially if it's right before the storm rolls in. It's the same as bass fishing,
Totally.
But yeah, if you want to get away from that, and most of the time you have a little bit calmer water, go to Green Bay. And the walleyes are just as big.
Yeah.
And not as pressured as Erie is,
Hope you like catching drum as well.
Yeah,
because they're running too.
Dinner plates like this, dude.
I grew up on Oneida Lake. I mean, there's tons of walleye in there, and I still have never caught a walleye in my life. Like, I'd love to have a conversation with my dad. He's no longer here, so I can't actually have that conversation. But I'd love to understand how the hell it is that I was never put on a walleye. Like, what is wrong with this picture? It's like crazy.
Hence the reason we started Monster Bass, not Monster Walleye.
Yeah, Monster Walleye. Exactly.
Imagine selling that like, oh, you caught a lot of walleye? Yeah,
sure.
You got any pictures? Oh no, there was this fire.
We got our good friend Richard from down at Eastport Marina down in Middle Tennessee, man. He said he caught 28 the last few weeks.
Yeah, bragging over there.
Yeah, dude, he's always out fishing.
Nobody cares, Richard. Nobody cares.
I care.
You and your beautiful scenery and good old Eastport Marina.
I care. He said that red crankbait would work really well. No, that's super cool, man. So like, what's a future look like for Monster Bass, man? Like, what's your guys' big focus coming up?
For 2022, we're going to continue to release baits under the Monster Bass line. We're going to release an app that's going to allow people to really just, the baits that we're giving them. We want them to be able to interact with the baits, but we want them to be able to, keep track of what it is that they're doing. And we want to be able to have fun. So with the app, you're going to be able to, host your own tournaments, participate in tournaments, some challenges. It's just something that we can do so that the Monster Bass community as a whole can continue to grow and interact with one another. We're going to acquire I wonder if I can say that. Can I say that? I mean, it's my company. I probably could, but we're going to acquire a company. We're going to acquire a company out of Minnesota.
Okay.
A brand that's up there. Obviously, we're going to try and grow that. I don't know.
Some big stuff, man. Some big stuff in the works.
Yeah, we recently signed with a VC firm, the folks that are behind Dollar Shave Club, the folks that are behind Liquid Death.
Okay.
So some pretty big brands, and they're betting on us, and we're hoping that their bet on us is going to pay off in a big way as we continue to grow. Because most people think they look at Monster Bass and like, they're shocked when they submit a customer support ticket and I call them up at home.
Sure.
But
sure.
we do a lot. I do a lot of everything. I mean, we're only like 6 people. We're not a really big company, even though we've grown pretty quickly. We're still pretty small. And we operate like a startup. So
that's cool.
2022 is just a big year for growth for us. So
awesome, dude. I like it. Fishing with T-Rex on YouTube said, tell them about the Big Bass tournament.
Oh, T-Rex. Yeah, so we're currently over on we use Tourney X Pro, and we've been hosting the Big Bass Championships, and it's a one fish tournament. It's free if you're a Monster Bass subscriber to participate. If you're not, it's $10.
Okay.
And your next fish could win you up to $10,000 worth of cash and prizes. We break the country into regions, so obviously the guys in Florida aren't competing with the guys in Maine. And you could be participating in a million tournaments, whether you're, kayak or just, bank angler, and you sign up for this one, and it's, it's just a big bass. And we've been doing that all year. And so we got some current, leaders on the board, and, this will go through to the end of the year, and someone's going to walk away with a whack ton of prizes. So it's pretty good.
You gonna catch the big bass or what?
Oh, totally. Yep.
I
got plenty of dynamite.
You don't sound very confident.
He doesn't sound confident.
Yeah.
Can't.
Hey,
I'm a scrub, dude.
Hey, it's because he's so short in the chair next to
Yeah,
me.
that's right.
No, that's super cool, man. I like that. Again, man, you guys are separating it into regions, so it's more realistic.
Yeah, totally.
It's super cool. 23
What do you guys
inches is leading the North right now. You could beat that.
I totally could.
I'm confident in you, Jack.
Me too.
I'll sign you
I
up.
don't know.
That's right. I am the master.
Out of New Hampshire. Oh, I'm not sharing the screen. I should share this up. What am I doing?
Either that or we can put up ESPN and watch the football game. I mean,
there you go. Yeah.
But no, super cool, man. Here's a map of the regions. So I like that you guys mixed in California, Texas, Florida together. Yeah. Definitely makes sense.
I mean, you could have broken this up into a million different ways. I just tried to make it honestly as simple as I could.
It's so tough, man. Like, we get that, throughout, the kayak world, like what region do we put with this? What region do you do that? Do you do it by state? Do you do it by this? And no matter what, somebody's not going to be happy with it. So,
Did you see Illinois up
just
there,
don't.
man?
I
Illinois
did.
was like top 10.
I know. I know. Check
Yeah,
that
baby.
out. Jacob Grubbs.
Yeah.
Where are you fishing, Jacob? Hit us up. We'll go fish with you anytime. But super cool, man. I like that, dude. I like that.
Yeah.
And not only that, but it's cool that you know, you guys again, like including your customers into it. Like you guys have like created this whole community, which is awesome.
Yeah, well, you know, we're trying, and we're just trying, you know, we're trying to be really different. We're trying to like literally like do this with the customer in mind, right? Because at the end of the day, we all want to go fishing. We all want to have a good time. And if we can develop product along the way and do so with the angler in mind and develop things that they want, then I think we're winning, you know? And since I get to surround myself with whoever I want, it's so great. Like there are people like T-Rex or Fishing with Gramps and or Alex Rudd. You know, these are people that like I've never met.
Sure.
But you know, because of this, I feel like, well, besides Alex Rudd, but like I feel like I'm part, you know, they feel like they're part of the family.
Yeah.
And so it's really cool to do this and to watch this thing grow. And who knows what it's going to end up becoming. But I can tell you this, that we're going to remain true to everything. And I don't care how big we are. I'm still going to answer customer service tickets. I mean, I don't really care because I got to know what those people are up to. And I want to solve their problems the way I expect my own problems to be solved. And as long as we provide good customer support, I think people, you know, stick around. So
Heck yeah. Yeah. One on Angling said Monster Bass is for the angler. They listen to the customer and also include Monster Bass website gift cards as a bonus to their bags too.
Yeah, we do a bag. I don't know if so instead of the boxes. Yeah. And you know, I like the boxes. I was sick of the boxes. My girlfriend came into the house and she's like, you know, in a nutshell, clean your shit up. And so, you know, I live in Los Angeles and I burn a lot of wood, right? So I like my camp. I like my fires. And so in the backyard, I burn a lot of stuff. And I burn all the boxes. I use the boxes. I throw them in the fire. I throw the wood on, and I have a flamethrower. I bought a flamethrower, and so that's how I start my fires. It's so
really
nice.
He does like campfires.
and I thought to myself, what are these boxes for? Like, who uses them? So I came up with the idea of like, I saw these bags, like money bags or whatever they're called from some other brand. So I was like, let's just create those, and we'll send everybody baits in a reusable bait bag. It's perfect for the backpack or the kayak. You know, you just want to bring a few things. And so every month your baits come in a bag.
That's cool. I like that, man. I like that. We got a great question from our friend Nicholas Beltran. He said, any ideas on expanding on getting fishing equipment other than baits and lures?
Funny you should mention that. Jared's going to give me it. So, so these just came out. MonsterBass 3700s.
Nice.
Fully waterproof, you know, customizable, and you know, you sign up. We're going to set it up so you sign up, you get your first month, and it comes packed in one of these. We're going to have these in multiple sizes. We've got some gear in terms of performance wear coming out. So we truly see it as a well-rounded lifestyle brand. So we've got tungsten. Oh God, don't get me started on tungsten, guys. To me, tungsten's the biggest ripoff on the planet. The crap is made, this stuff is made at 5 factories, all of them made in like 5 different factories. Look, it's all 97% pure tungsten. It's all no chip. It's all got the logo and it's got 3/8 ounce written on it. It's the same thing, but why is it so expensive? So I just went and I researched the 4 factories. I found it. I bought from all 4 of them to see which one I liked. They're all pretty much the same. And I went and I found the lowest prices on the internet and I dropped the prices, and there you go. Right. Like I'll make it as cheap as possible. And when I first did it, I started selling them one at a time. You know, you want to buy 1 3/8 ounce. It's all, you know, factory direct pricing. Then I realized, okay, I probably need to bundle them in 2 packs or 3 packs. And so we went and I found the pricing online. And then I reduced it by whatever, 10 to 20% to make the prices, you know, as low as I could possibly find them. And,
Nice.
you know, I just put them out there, and it's kind of like my lost leader for everybody. What I probably shouldn't have done is taken pictures using my weights that I had already used.
It's super
But
cool, man.
yeah, so we can. What else? We got Ned EWG heads. We've got Tokyo rigs. So
Yep.
the other thing we're gonna do is in time for the holidays, we're gonna come out with kits, right? Because people want to learn how to fish, and so like you might get a 50-piece Ned kit comes in this, but the thing that we're gonna do different is it's gonna have a card in it from a YouTuber like Burley Fishing or someone, and they're gonna take you through how to Ned rig. And so we're going to give you not only the equipment but the education so that you can give it as a gift to somebody and they can take it out and go learn how to fish.
Yeah, I think that's crucial, man, for like the beginners, like just finding a good source of information on how to fish a certain bait or a certain technique. I mean, that's huge. What you guys are doing is like, all right, here's the bait, here's the instructions, like go catch a fish,
Oh yeah.
Whereas a lot of times, like the other, companies we had talked about before, they just send you some baits and they kind of give you a rough, like, do this, But yeah, no, it's super cool that you guys are helping educate at the same time because, like we talked about before, man, like it could be super frustrating coming into this sport with all the bait opportunities that are out there. You know what I mean? Like you could walk into a Bass Pro, like you were talking about earlier, because your kid wants to go fishing and you're like pulling your hair out because you don't know what to grab.
Crazy.
So it is. I mean, just walking through, up here we got Cabela's Bass Pro Shop, just walking through there's a lot of crap in there. And if you didn't know what you're looking for, and I always love it when you get the guy that comes up to you and he's like, hey man, you know anything about these? Like, how do I fish this? And you have a conversation with a guy and they're like, man, thank you so much. I was just about to just leave and walk out of here and give up because I had no clue, which is super cool, man, that you guys are helping make that experience better on the water.
So are you guys like, you can do video? So when you do or have somebody do the videos for you, is it going to be like the exact box that's being released in that region?
Yeah.
See, that's even better.
Yeah.
Because now people can go, oh, okay. Oh, it's this one. Oh, all right. And then how do you hook that again?
Yeah.
And all the different variations of that, and then actually see somebody catch some fish on there. I mean, that would be,
heck yeah.
I mean, that'll build their confidence just like just from seeing that. Like, oh,
which it sounds like they're going to incorporate that into their app for 2022, which is sweet.
Yeah, maybe we need videos from you guys because I mean, you guys know a thing or two about catching fish.
Maybe.
I don't know anything.
Jay, I don't know. He's all right. He's all right. And the famous words of Jay Randall is, "I'm just a hack, bro."
Yeah.
Me too.
I'm like the guy that'll like tie on like 7 baits, and that's all I'm using all day. I've got that much confidence, and I have confidence even losing. I've
gone to the point of like throwing him the baits that I'm catching fish on in his kayak, and he still won't tie them on. Yeah. But it's funny, man. It's funny. I love it, man. I love it. Well, we're winding down here, man. We'll give you the floor. Anything else you want to touch on, talk about, anything like that, man? We appreciate you taking the time out tonight to chat with us for sure.
No, I mean, listen, I'm really grateful and that you had me on the show. Love doing what I'm doing. Not really here to do a shameless plug on MonsterBass, but
sure,
since I get the opportunity to,
have
at it. So if you're new to MonsterBass and you're thinking about giving it a try, we're going to send you the best baits for the places you love to fish. They're going to be seasonally and regionally appropriate, and you can try your first one if you use promo code SAVE10. You'll get $10 off your first box. So give it a try.
Nice.
MonsterBass.com.
I think that's one thing we didn't talk about. What is the monthly cost of a box? That was one thing we didn't talk about. Yeah,
good question. So on the website, if you go to, there's the join now or learn more button. It'll take you to a page, and we've got 3 different options. So we've got 2 versions of the Bass box. We've got a $25 and a $35 option, but we've also got a multi-species box because we realize, some people like to fish for other stuff. And
Sure.
so we made one for bass and panfish. And, we fill it up as much as we possibly can with,
No pipe.
baits that you guys like.
Dude.
I'm just messing with them.
I'm sure there is some pike baits in there.
Oh,
Some baits you could use for pike. Like, look, this big white spinner bait, you would throw that for pike, Jay.
Is that what you would do, Brian?
Crankbait? No, you specifically. I've seen you do it. Like, Jay's a big pike fisherman, so I'm helping you out.
Did you hear that? He goes, "You don't have any where you're at."
Well, it's cool too. Like, I see you guys are giving like discounts if you sign up for like a 12-month plan versus a 6-month, 3-month, monthly. So it's great value in it, man. I like it. Especially like we talked about, man. I think the biggest thing and the thing that makes you guys so successful is you guys are using quality baits.
Mm-hmm.
You're not sending people a bunch of crap every month. You know what I mean? So that's super cool.
We're trying.
It was Save 10 was the promo code.
Yeah, Save 10. Heck, you can use Save 15. Save 15 will save you $15.
Drop that down in the chat.
Is that all caps or lower?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Gotcha.
Boom. Chat. I like it. I'll put it for you folks that are listening on all the podcast platforms. You can go down in the show notes. There will be a link to MonsterBass's website plus the promo code as well. So that way you guys can save a few bucks, get a subscription box, get one first month, try it out, see what you guys think. And then, sign up for that year-long program, man. I mean, that's the least you can do. You guys
I'd love
try
to have
everything once, right?
Yeah, right. Well,
I mean, that's what I say. That's got me in trouble
everything.
A few times, but yeah,
He goes to almost everything.
Yeah.
Where's your adventure side?
I'd love to have you guys on the show. It might be a different take for you. You can come on the show. We'll take some live calls and we'll see what the people want to talk about.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah.
We'd be down for that anytime.
Definitely.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Very cool, man. How often are you doing your show?
Every Thursday.
Every Thursday night, 6 Central?
Yeah.
Okay, 6 Central, 4 on the
But
West Coast.
I'd be willing to switch a day because I know you guys have your show. But
no, we could do 6 Central. I'm just trying to put it out there for the folks that are listening in, tuning in. You guys stream that on YouTube, Facebook. You guys put that on the podcast platforms too?
Of course. We're about to sign with Waypoint and be on that platform as well. I believe.
Boom.
That's gonna make us homies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to the brotherhood, man.
Yeah.
I like it.
I like it.
Very cool, man. Well, Rick, we appreciate you joining us tonight, man. Everybody that tuned in, dropped in the comments, we appreciate you guys as well. Definitely go give these guys a follow. Check them out. Follow the podcast. Get a subscription box. Jay, final words?
It's great talking to you, Rick.
Every week. I remember like a month or two ago, you were like, you were super chatty Cathy, man. You had a ton of energy, but you did come through with some key questions tonight. I like that.
Yeah, thanks. I'll pat myself on the back later for it.
I appreciate it, man. We'll talk to you soon, Rick. Thank you so much. Everybody tuning in at home, thank you again for tuning in tonight. As always, tight lines, smooth paddle. Peace.
See ya.